She came back from beyond to take revenge on her husband and everyone involved. Helena, a kind and generous woman, had been betrayed by those she trusted most. Her husband, Raphael, and his friend, Dr. Caesar, conspired to have her committed to a sinister asylum, all for greed. Their goal was simple: eliminate Helena and claim her $1 million life insurance. Raphael, cold and calculating, convinced Caesar to falsely diagnose Helena with a mental illness and send her to Santa Agata Asylum. This was no ordinary institution. It was infamous for dark stories of supernatural experiments. Despite Helena's pleas, they locked her away, confident she would never leave the place alive. Inside the asylum, Helena endured horrors beyond imagination. Patients weren't treated but used as test subjects in bizarre rituals and experiments. On her final night, Helena was taken to a chamber adorned with strange symbols, where the doctors attempted to use her body and soul in a supernatural ritual. The ritual went wrong, and Helena died there, abandoned and without justice. Raphael's downfall. With Helena officially declared dead, Raphael collected the life insurance and indulged in a life of luxury. He believed his wife was just a distant memory, buried in a remote asylum. But in the silence of the nights, he began to realize he was mistaken. On the first night, he heard footsteps in the hallway. When he got up to investigate, there was no one there. On the second night, objects began moving on their own, and a message appeared on the bathroom mirror, written in steam. "Why did you do this to me?" Raphael tried to ignore the events, but Helena's appearances became more frequent. He saw her shadow in the corners of his eyes, heard her voice whispering his name, and smelled her familiar perfume lingering in the house. Desperate, he sought out Caesar, only to find the doctor battling his own terrors. "Raphael, she's here," Caesar exclaimed, his eyes wide with fear. "I see her in the hospital corridors. She whispers my name, asking for you. She knows what we did." Confrontation. That same night, Raphael woke to a familiar voice calling his name. Following the sound to the living room, he froze as he saw Helena pale, with dark, hollow eyes and a face twisted with rage. "You thought you could bury me and move on with your life. I thought I would stay silent." Raphael tried to flee, but the doors were locked. Helena pursued him, her steps deliberate and unrelenting, while he begged for forgiveness. But with every plea, the lights flickered, and her cold laughter echoed through the house. "Forgiveness? Where was your mercy when you sent me to that place? You and Caesar will pay for everything." The final revelation. Desperate, Raphael drove to the asylum, convinced that destroying Helena's records might set him free. But when he arrived, he found Caesar dead in his office, his face frozen in sheer terror. The asylum, long abandoned, still emanated a heavy, dark energy. In Helena's old room, Raphael found a photograph of her. As he held it, the picture began to bleed. In the reflection of a shattered window, Helena appeared again, more terrifying than ever. "You will never escape me. Your soul belongs to me now." The next morning, Raphael was found dead in his home, his face contorted in fear. Written on the walls in blood were the words, "Why did you do this to me?" Santa Agata was permanently closed after the events, but those who dared